Have you ever dreamt of embarking on a train journey through landscapes so stunning they seem straight out of a fairy tale? Kia ora everybody, it's Chloe here, and today we're diving into one of the world's most spectacular train journeys. We're about to ride the legendary TranzAlpine train, crossing the magical South Island of Aotearoa, New Zealand, from one side to the other and back in just one day. We'll start our adventure in the Scenic Carriage, taking in the breathtaking landscapes as we travel 223 kilometres each way in just under 5 hours. But that's not all. On our return journey, we'll be upgrading to the brand new Scenic Plus experience. And spoiler alert, it's very fancy. This is where we'll be enjoying a seasonal menu inspired by the mountains and the rivers we pass, with freshly picked ingredients from the very paddocks and regions we'll be travelling through. So buckle up for one of the most scenic and indulgent train rides on the planet. If you enjoy the journey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Let's get started. Woo! I'm so excited. We're up bright and early on a crisp Friday morning in the midst of winter here in New Zealand, the end of June to be exact. Our journey begins in Christchurch, which is known as the Garden City for its beautiful parks and gardens, a wonderful place to spend a couple of days if you've got the time. We were set to depart at 8:15 this morning, so we aimed to arrive at the Christchurch train station around 30 minutes beforehand. Upon arrival, we noticed a separate check-in for Scenic Class and Scenic Plus class, making the process feel a bit like checking in at the airport, but much smoother and more streamlined, of course. Oh, and you can also check luggage in, as I noticed. Because we were just doing a return day trip, we didn't need to use this service. But we noticed that quite a lot of passengers did, as they opted for the one-way option and completed their journey in Greymouth. With everything sorted and the chilly winter air around us, we were ready to hop on board and start our incredible TranzAlpine adventure. Not before a happy dance outside though. And at this point you might be wondering who this guy is with the fantastic dance moves. Well, my train buddy today is my dad. His name is Paul. Hi Paul.
Hi guys, how are you?
How are you? I'm especially excited to have him along for this adventure because it's his very first scenic train ride ever. And what a train to start with, I say. Lucky dad. We head to our carriage, jump aboard, and make our way to our pre-selected seats. The Scenic Class carriage features spacious seating, an airy ambience, and generous legroom, all enhanced by air conditioning for added comfort. I remember being blown away by the expansive windows in here. These are going to offer some incredible views during our journey. The roomy seats were a huge relief for my dad, who is over 6 foot. He was thrilled with the extra space. There were reading lights, plenty of storage for our belongings, and a handy little armrest if you'd like a barrier between you and your train buddy. As well as tray table, storage pouch, and USB outlets. Yes! These came in very handy later on because my phone battery could not handle the amount of videos I was taking. Okay, I'd like to officially welcome you to the TranzAlpine train. We have just left Christchurch and we are on our way to see some of the most breathtaking views New Zealand has to offer. I'm pretty darn excited. Are you pretty excited to be on this train today, Dad?
Getting more excited all the time.
Yeah?
Seeing new things. Didn't expect to be here.
This is Dad's first proper scenic train ride, and it's for his birthday. Happy birthday, Dad.
Thank you. Didn't expect this.
Oh yeah. Yay. Cool, we just got given some little headphones for some commentary. As you gaze out the window, the GPS-triggered commentary provides a seamless stream of stories, narratives, and fascinating facts about the scenery passing by. A really nice touch. We were told that a little light on the screen up here would signal when there was something interesting to listen to or a point of interest outside was passing by. This was perfect because it allowed Dad and I to chat without having to keep our headphones on the whole time.
My name's Kellyanne, I'll be your onboard manager today. I'd like to introduce you to your wonderful crew today. You have Tina, Carol and Caitlin. Down in Scenic Plus, you have Tony, Stacey, Bella and Edna.
We were informed that today's service was fully booked, which made sense as it was a public holiday here in New Zealand. I also appreciated that they reminded everybody to keep their footwear on for the entire trip. Thank goodness we didn't have to deal with any smelly feet. It actually took me back to my Amtrak journey across America, where they had to make this same announcement multiple times. Now, I have to admit, Dad was a bit nervous and skeptical about this train ride. He's quite a restless man who loves to stay active and work. Sitting still for extended periods of time isn't really his cup of tea. When I told him I was taking him on this train journey, he didn't exactly jump with joy, but I booked him on it anyway. He came prepared though with a couple of great business books, thinking he'd make good use of the time. Despite my best efforts to reassure him that he'd enjoy the journey, I knew that the experience itself would totally win him over. Let's see how he feels by the end of the day, shall we? Pretty nice bathroom. It smells very fresh in here. From Christchurch, the TranzAlpine began its journey by roaming across the vast patchwork plains of Canterbury. Spanning 200 kilometres from north to south and 70 kilometres across, the Canterbury Plains are one of New Zealand's primary agricultural regions and were one of the original attractions for European settlers. And I know we only just got started here, but I couldn't help but quickly get out of my seat that I just got comfortable in and check out one of the most incredible features on this train. Welcome to the open air viewing car. Dad's really cold already. It's really quite rather windy out here, but wow, it is fresh. This is one of the coolest things I've ever experienced on a train before. This is actually my first train I've been on where we have had an opportunity to stand outside. Woo, I think next time I'm gonna bring my sunglasses though, because holy moly, my eyes are watering. We've only just started and we can already see the most incredible snowy mountain peaks in the distance, and this is just getting me so darn excited. Dad, is this cool or what?
Cold and cool.
It is cool. Oh my gosh, look, you can see my breath. You can see my breath. That was the open air viewing car, and that was fresh. It was rather fresh. I would definitely recommend wearing your beanie and a coat. Dad just alerted me that it is indeed time to get a coffee. Is it latte time, Dad?
I believe so. I've been saving up for it.
I think now's the time. I can see mountains in the distance. It seemed as though everyone else had lattes on their mind too, as there was a rather long line for coffee. But no worries, we had these panoramic windows to keep us entertained while we waited, so it wasn't too bad at all. Coffee is always worth the wait, I say. The staff apologises because a lot of the meal options have already been taken. Whilst we're in line, let me show you around the Scenic Cafe, which offers barista-made coffee, full breakfasts, scones, sweet treats, and hearty diner-style meals like salads, free-range chicken and lamb, and of course, kiwi pies. Dad chose a delicious vegetable kumara pie, which he really enjoyed. They also have award-winning wines, local beers, juices, and sodas. The Scenic Cafe opens shortly before departure and stays open throughout the day and into the early evening. Oh, and I will mention we did have a cafe menu back at our seat as well. I learned we were passing through a place called Springfield, a small town on the western edge of the Canterbury Plains. It's the last stop before we hit the mountains.
This is Springfield. Funny, I don't see Bart Simpson anywhere.
Springfield was actually the end of the line for a while, with the Alps blocking the way. Eventually they built a route through the mountains, and the section between Springfield and Arthur's Pass is a true masterpiece of railway engineering, and one of the reasons why the TranzAlpine is so famous. Then suddenly, we had a bit of excitement. We were about to cross a big bridge and go through our very first tunnel. We actually learned that climbing through the Southern Alps these mountains, present some of the most challenging terrain for New Zealand's railway engineers. Although the train does follow the pre-cut channels of the Waimakariri and Broken Rivers, as it was the easiest path through the mountains, the steep and rocky banks required the construction of lots of tunnels and bridges. For the record, during the journey we'll be passing through a total of 15 tunnels and 4 bridges, or viaducts, as I learned is the correct term for a train bridge, I think. Oh, and during which the outdoor viewing platform does close, which makes sense, and they make announcements for this. One of the most dramatic bridges on the entire route is called the Staircase Viaduct, and it towers a breathtaking 72 metres above the stream below. I wasn't quite hungry yet, but I did want to avoid waiting in this long line again later, so I grabbed a cute little cheese pack to have in a few hours' time. Now, have I convinced you to travel to New Zealand and ride the TranzAlpine train yet? I'm sure I have. When you come to New Zealand and beyond, I've got the best solution for one of the most annoying travel headaches of all time: roaming costs. Ugh. When I heard the word eSIM a few years ago, I wasn't quite sure what it meant, but luckily Ludvig, he alerted me that it was a SIM card through the internet. And honestly, as much as I edit videos and do all of this YouTube stuff, I am the least tech-savvy person in the world. For example, I'm not sure if I want to say this out loud, but for example, our wedding photographer sent us hundreds of the most beautiful photos from our wedding, and I was downloading them one by one for days on end. Ludvig comes in, he swoops on in and says, "Chloe, why don't you just bulk download them?" I am now an eSIM user. It is the simplest of setups, and it's made even simpler with GigSky. They make staying connected while traveling an absolute breeze. What is an eSIM? Simply put, it's a digital SIM card that you download onto your phone. No need for one of those teeny little funny SIM cards that you pop in and pop out. It's just on your phone and you just download it and boom, there it is, you're ready to go. They provide service in over 190 countries, and GigSky's eSIMs even work on over 200 cruise ships. Ludvig and I are personally going to be using GigSky in 1 month when we find ourselves back on a cruise ship. Hint, hint. What has to be the best part about GigSky is there's only ever one eSIM you need to download, and it'll work for as long as you've got your phone. No swapping out SIM cards and dealing with complicated setups. None of that. Simple. So next time you're planning your trip, New Zealand TranzAlpine train maybe, just honestly skip the expensive roaming charges and download GigSky. Thank you so much, GigSky. Right now, we are approaching Arthur's Pass, or currently going through Arthur's Pass. Apparently, we actually stop in Arthur's Pass. Oh my gosh, I just said Arthur's Pass so many times. And the viewing platform outdoors has become significantly busier. I can see that as soon as there's nice views, it's going to be busy out here. It actually says on the wall that there's a limit of 20 guests in the carriage, and I don't see that really following through during the journey. But Dad is absolutely loving this. Aren't you, Dad?
Loving it. I've never seen this before.
This is cool. This is so unlike anything Dad's ever done before. This is awesome.
Normally I'd be working in the gym today.
Well, instead you're going through Arthur's Pass. We're so close to the snowy mountains. Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. 100% most scenic journey I've ever been on from a train, for sure. Look at him. He's just in his element right now. Absolutely loving life. It's not your average Friday morning, that's for sure. So, you've heard me say Arthur's Pass multiple times now. What is it? It's a high mountain pass in the Southern Alps, smack dab in the middle of the South Island. Think rugged peaks, lush forests, and enough breathtaking views to make your phone battery die like mine did. We had one opportunity to step off the train during our journey, and it happens to be right here. We were told we have a quick 5 minutes and to be careful as we could experience icy conditions. The pass is named after Arthur Dudley Dobson. What a cool name, by the way. Arthur Dudley Dobson, who explored this area in the 1800s. Fun fact, he actually didn't think the pass would be used much, but boy was he wrong. Approaching Arthur's Pass is like entering a whole new world. You're surrounded by seriously dramatic landscapes, you've got waterfalls, alpine meadows, and even a few cheeky Kia birds who might try to steal your lunch. We didn't see any Kias this time, but I do remember the cheeky Kias fondly when we were driving to the Milford Sound a few years back. Also located here, which we obviously didn't have time to explore today, is the Devil's Punch Bowl waterfall. This is another spot we got to visit during our big New Zealand trip. It's a really fun yet doable walk to the viewpoint and an absolutely stunning spot for a photo. And let's not forget about the charming little village of Arthur's Pass itself. It's like a cozy little mountain retreat with a few shops, cafes, and plenty of local charm. We had just enough time to get some fresh air, stretch our legs, take a quick photo with the sign, and it was time to get back on the train. Following our stop in Arthur's Pass, we were alerted that we were about to enter one of the most intriguing parts of the trip, the Otira Tunnel, and it seemed like the perfect time to dig into my cute little cheese platter, which had a few different cheeses, dried apricots, crackers, and walnuts. It was really good. The 8.5-kilometre marvel opened its doors back in 1923 and marks the transition from Canterbury to the west coast. Sadly, the construction wasn't without its hardships. 8 brave men lost their lives during its building, so it's a place with a lot of history and respect. It was a monumental feat of engineering at the time, and it was the 7th longest tunnel in the world when it first opened. Today, it's slipped back to 45th on the list. As we chugged through, we noticed we slowed down quite a lot. We found out that we were going to be climbing about 250 metres inside this tunnel.
So just a reminder to please stay seated till the train comes to a complete stop. I'll let you know when you can walk through the train again next. Thank you.
We then passed through the cutest little town, Otira. This charming spot is tucked away between massive mountains, and it's known for its incredibly frequent rainfall. Definitely not a place to live for the faint of heart. With a population of around 45 residents, Otira is as quaint as it gets. The winters here are pretty grey with just a smidge of sunlight peeking through. One of the perks of living here, as we found out, is the very affordable lifestyle. These houses are so tiny and cute. This view honestly looked like a postcard. So picturesque. Next up on our journey, we wander through the charming little settlement of Moana. This tiny gem is home to a cozy population of around 75. So teeny. One of my favourite things about travelling by train is passing through little towns just like this that I would never otherwise get to witness. I love to imagine what life is like living there. The train actually paused here briefly, which it had been doing in various spots during the journey. We noticed that guests were boarding or departing throughout the trip. Fishing enthusiasts will love Moana. The area is renowned for its prime fishing opportunities, especially in the beautiful Lake Brunner out to our left. This stunning lake is stocked with wild brown trout, and it's open for fishing all year round. We'll get even better views of Lake Brunner on our return journey from our private viewing platform. Stay tuned for that. We began following the Grey River, named after, well, the greyish colour of the water, which led us all the way to the town of Greymouth, our next stop and final destination for some. Welcome to Greymouth. This is the halfway point of our journey. We're in Greymouth for literally less than an hour, and then we're back on the train at 2 p.m. with a departure time of 2:15. So we're going to go and attempt to find a latte. Hopefully something will be open. Nothing much was open today due to it being a public holiday, I'm assuming. But let me tell you, I am so glad nothing was open because I didn't realize what great indulgence was waiting for us. It's a very cute little town. It looks pretty small. Let's go for a little explore.
This is like going back in the olden days. Look at the character of these buildings.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Look what you can discover. A great gym potential. Greymouth, what character? Yoga and Pilates upstairs, gym down there. Can you see it?
It's the largest town on the west coast and a great gateway to exploring the rest of this fascinating region. Greymouth regularly faces flood risks due to heavy rainfall, and the rivers tend to swell. In the past, this meant dealing with significant flood levels that impacted the town. To combat this, Greymouth has implemented impressive flood-proofing measures. The town now boasts a series of big flood walls designed to protect homes and businesses from rising waters. Although Dad and I only had around an hour to explore, it was a nice break between journeys. We noticed that quite a lot of people did disembark here, and it's not too far from a couple of notable destinations, such as Hokitika. And further on, of course, the famous Franz Josef. 2 more places we explored during our New Zealand van trip, and I can say these are well worth a visit if you have got a few extra days to explore. Next trip return, we go to P. Oh, we got a fancy red mat. We have been welcomed back on the train, and we are now enjoying the Scenic Plus car. Apparently this carriage, oh my goodness, thank you. Oh my gosh, it's like business class.
Ouch.
Oh my goodness. We just got a hot towel.
I just got a hot eye.
Apparently this particular carriage that we're sitting in right now has only been in operation for 6 weeks, so it's pretty new, and there aren't many people at all on this return journey. It's very, very empty. Oh my god, is it just 4 of us?
My name's Kellyanne. I'll be your onboard service minister today.
Lovely.
Your wonderful team on board today: Tina, Carolyn, Caitlin, Edna, Tony, Stacey, and Bella. Now we do ask that you do take some time to familiarise yourself with our safety information card. Your fire extinguishers are located at both ends of each carriage. Your emergency help, smoking service, and includes any electronic cigarettes.
What did you just say, Dad?
This is amazing. It's an amazing day.
You heard it, folks. It is an amazing day. Upon entering, oh my gosh, we have drinks coming.
A welcome drink.
Oh, yes, thank
Maybe
you.
wine. Would you like everything or would you like?
Got a cheers.
Cheers.
Wait. That is delightful. I keep on going to tell you what's happening, and then suddenly we get some more service and something else happens. So I'm going to attempt to tell you that upon entering, the lady took our jackets and hung them up. What the heck? Buckle up as we embark on the full Scenic Plus experience for our 5-hour journey back to Christchurch. So far, the best way to describe the difference between the two is if Scenic Class is like cozy premium economy, then Scenic Plus is the VIP red carpet experience of business class. From the second we boarded, it felt like we'd been upgraded to royalty. The service, impeccable, the comfort, extreme, and those jaw-dropping views out the window? Well, they're somehow made even more enjoyable from this extra fancy table seat zone. And very likely even more so by the fact that there was literally only 4 of us in this carriage for the way home. Our lovely host Tony mentioned that it was fully booked on the previous route. And as you'll soon see, the insane food and drinks. Now, if you're scratching your head over which class to choose, let me give you a tip. Check out the nifty chart on the Great Journeys New Zealand website, as it lays out exactly what's included with each class, making it super easy to pick your perfect travel vibe. While Scenic Plus does cost more than double of Scenic Class, I'd say it is worth every penny. Great Journeys New Zealand generously hosted us for this trip. However, after just a few minutes in the Scenic Plus class, I would happily pay for this option every single time, hands down. But no worries, if you are looking for something a bit more budget friendly, Scenic Class is still an amazing experience, as you obviously saw. And here's a pro tip. I noticed many passengers actually brought their own food, snacks and drinks, making the journey even more affordable. I did take note of an announcement though, it's not BYO alcohol, so keep that one in mind. So here we are, folks. We are in our own outdoor open air carriage. It's usually not just for us, but there's only 4 of us in Scenic Plus on the way back, and this is all for us, Dad. What do you feel about that?
Incredible luxury. I felt so spoiled. I feel like waiting on the waiters.
Yeah, this is just magical. We are going back past Lake Brunner and the town of Moana that we passed on the way through, and this is just even cooler. I'm glad we saved coming outside till the way back so we can have this all to ourselves. This is just so incredibly spacious. Like I could do walking lunges for ages. We can do ballet twirls. We can do some stretches. Dad is really lapping up the privacy of the Scenic car. We can do karate. This is wild. Absolutely wild. Oh my gosh! There's a swan! There's a swan! Oh well! Very soon after departing Greymouth, we were straight into the wines, we were into the coffees, and now it was time to experience the dining. This isn't just any meal on wheels. Oh no, it's a full-blown culinary experience. And we were in for a treat. For the Scenic Plus guests is a custom-built kitchen carriage where the magic happens. I'm talking hot and cold dishes that are prepared fresh as you roll through New Zealand's stunning landscapes. We've got free-flowing drinks like beer, wine, sodas, juice, and some seriously delicious barista-made coffee. Now, I'm very aware I have hyped up New Zealand's coffee time and time again, and let me tell you, this absolutely lives up to the reputation. So I'm very relieved about that. You've got a menu right at your table, and it's not just any menu, it's got this awesome map that shows you exactly where each ingredient is sourced from around the country. From Canterbury lamb to the South Island smoked salmon, you can trace your meal's journey across New Zealand while you enjoy it. It's like a culinary road trip, and every sip and bite is a testament to the beautiful landscape right outside your window. Our first meal, which is called the afternoon meal, and it's kind of to tie you over until dinner begins. It was a platter of smoked hot salmon, marinated olives, pickled vegetables, marinated feta, and pesto served with a warm baguette, paired with delicious New Zealand rosé, and then a delicious Sauvignon Blanc. Why not?
Know which one to choose.
And if I can think of all my favourite flavours plopped together, sorry, that was not a very nice word, combined together on one plate, this is it. It was heaven. And that bread, oh my goodness, it was so warm, so soft, so fresh, everything you want a bread to be. They have Wi-Fi in here. Dad is making the most of this opportunity. Well, my friends, I just have to address that this bathroom is quite stylish compared to the other one. It's all black. We even have some smelly stick stuff, which really elevates the whole experience. Wow, it smells delightful in here. It truly does. Other than that, you have all of the usual essentials. And now it's time to pee. See you soon. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call it. This is, thus far in my life, the most scenic train ride yet. Hands down.
So we're just about to arrive into Otira.
All right, we're going back through the Otira tunnel. So I better go ahead inside. The outdoor cart is now closed. But wow. Most scenic train yet. Most scenic train yet. Ah! As we neared Otira, our hosts handed out a book titled Through the Alps, which is all about the Otira Tunnel, and Dad found it quite the fascinating read. If you're intrigued by the history and engineering marvel of the tunnel, you can snag a copy yourself during the journey. That also reminds me, Dad and I were given a phone with an interactive map. It was similar to the audio commentary we had before, but this one was a little bit more detailed and interactive. You could select different zones on the map and choose exactly what you wanted to listen to, making the experience even more engaging and personalized. On that note, we noticed our hosts were more than willing to tell stories and information that we wouldn't otherwise find out. This was a really nice touch. We soon arrived back at Arthur's Pass for another quick pit stop. Oh, the horn went! The horn went! Back Back on the train, we were continuously offered refreshments. This service was seriously amazing. I grabbed a Pepsi Max while Dad went with the sparkling water. We were also told that dinner was just around the corner and to start taking a look at the menu. As the sky began to darken, our cozy nook on the train felt even more inviting. I decided to take just one last trip to the open-air viewing platform to soak in the views before the sun completely disappeared. Honestly, I didn't want this train journey to end. Oh, it's so cold out here, but so worth it. Before we knew it, it was dinner time. Dad chose the Horapito rubbed chicken from Christchurch. Meanwhile, I opted for the Agria potato gnocchi, made from potatoes sourced from Pukekohe or Ashburton, as I noticed on our food map. The food was super fresh and lived up to every expectation we had. For dessert, as tempting as the cheese plate was, I could not resist trying the caramelized Whittaker's white chocolate cheesecake. My mouth is watering even saying that out loud. Whittaker's, in our opinion, is the best chocolate in New Zealand, and this cheesecake was absolute heaven. Dad went for the Canterbury Plains rhubarb and berry compote, and both desserts were delightful. Of course, we couldn't pass up one more coffee just to round off a perfect meal, but we made it a decaf in hopes to get some sleep this evening, even though I was probably going to be way too excited from the day we just had. I noticed from around 6 p.m. it was pitch black outside, and we still had around an hour left before we'd reach Christchurch. After a day filled with breathtaking views, this was actually a lovely time to wind down as our journey came to an end. I managed to get a bit of work done while Dad wrapped up the last of his books. However, if you are planning a one-way trip, I'd suggest maybe opting for the morning departure. That way, you'll enjoy daylight for the entire route. Something to keep in mind when booking your trip anyway. Of course, this was late June during winter, so daylight hours will obviously be different in the summer months. This is so cute. So if you had checked luggage with you on your train, your bags come out on this cute little conveyor belt right outside the train. Oh, fantaxi. Just walked outside the station and bam, look at all these. It's exactly what I like to see. Thank you for joining my dad and I on this incredible journey aboard the TranzAlpine. If you're inspired to book your own adventure or explore more of Great Journeys New Zealand's other amazing trains and packages, the link is waiting for you below in the description. Aotearoa is packed with incredible activities and must-dos. Seriously, it's like they've crammed all of the adventure and beauty into one tiny country. It makes me so proud to call this place home. And trust me, this train ride is definitely a must-do. I mean, you have to do it. It's not just a suggestion. I insist. Want to see more of New Zealand's stunning train routes? Let me know which ones you'd like me to cover next in the comments. And if you enjoyed this ride, give the video a thumbs up. It really helps us to connect with fellow train enthusiasts like yourself and share these experiences with more people. Until next time, catch you later.